All right, guys, welcome back. We're gonna continue pretty much. I'm gonna continue with my Independence Day theme, but I'm creating a new web page. But this, you guys should already know, is pretty much the basic structure inside of Dreamweaver. So I already filled in my title, and I've already saved out my document as index.html, and I've already set up my site. So you may notice that my setup is a little different. What I did this week, since I think we're ready, we've pretty much progressed, is over here on the right side where I was at developer. I changed it to standard. And what standard does is it gives you more options and more tools to play with. For instance, we have files, CC libraries, which is where if you have objects in other programs, say I created stuff in Illustrator or Photoshop and things like that, they'll appear here. I can change whichever one I want to be something different. So that's pretty cool that's here. If I had something I want to insert, I have an insert menu in this one. I have a CSS designer. We're not gonna mess with this stuff right now, but I just wanted to know that those are there. Right now, I'm just sticking with files so that we can see the structure. The structure that I have is pretty much, what I named the site, images, and I have the same images I have in all the other folders each week. And then my index.html. So I haven't done really much of anything, but I just didn't want you to freak out if yours is looking different than mine. And then over here, of course, I have the same menu that I had before. So it's just a different layout, just to spice it up a little bit. All right, so this is the standard document. We're going to talk about lists today. So one of the lists I have, so I named mine Independence Day festivities, sort of like, getting ready to go to a cookout, and, and see my friends and hang out and stuff like that. Not really now because this COVID is out and I don't go anywhere. But eventually when things get back to normal, if they ever get back to normal. All right, so we all know that anything that we want to see is in the body tag. So today we're going to talk about lists. We already talked about lists a little bit. And on W3 Schools, just so you can see where we are. We're in our HTML and we're down here at lists. So we're going to talk about unordered lists and ordered lists. There are more lists, but we just don't. We're just going to focus on those two for now. You guys can read through W3 Schools for more information on lists. All right. So we have unordered lists, and what those are bulleted lists and pretty much just information not listed in any order. And then you have ordered lists, and what that is lists that are numbered from like 1 to 3 or A to Z and things like that. So and through CSS, you can style and change all of them. But for now, we're gonna be talking about is lists. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and say, well, you know what though, I want you to learn the template first of how when you're setting up your site for HTML5, so that you don't have to backward generate stuff. So let's go ahead and set this up. So remember I showed you those tags in the last one in the Photoshop document. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a header. Okay, I'm going to make sure I'm typing in the screen I need to be typing in. All right, so header. And you'll know that Dreamweaver pretty much does our closing tag for us because it spoils us like that. I'm going to set up the nav. I'm going to set up next main. We call main the temperamental tag. I have a feeling you guys will understand why. they may have fixed it. I haven't used main in a while. But before, main is super specific with super strict rules. You couldn't have main in certain areas of your screen and had to follow, a certain order. So this order right here works pretty much all the time, but we'll see as we go along. All right, aside. What are the tags that I have? I'm trying to remember. I think I had article. I actually don't remember if I had article. I might not have. But if I didn't, we'll erase it. It's no big deal, but we'll talk about it. Section. Footer. Oh, and I have wrapper. But I'll get to that. I'll get to wrapper later. I don't want to put it in here. We haven't talked about it. So I'm going to save this so we can see what goes on with this. So what I'm going to do now is, so there is a way to preview this without having to go to your folder. We haven't done it yet, but typically you would go in your folder and click on the what is it, the HTML file, and it'll open up in a browser. However, I like that way the best because this next way kind of opens it in your browser and kind of doesn't. Sometimes I just don't want you guys getting a false reading. But supposedly it's much better, so we'll go ahead and try and trust it. So with this saved, we can go to File. You can go down here to Real-Time Preview, and then your browser should be here. If it's not here, if Chrome isn't here, Chrome is the one we're using in class and the one I'm grading against. So if Chrome isn't there, go to Edit Browser List, and then it'll take you through the the steps to find it. But I click on Chrome, and so what happens? Your site opens up, and it's like, where is your stuff, right? So this is really a preview. This is why I don't trust it, but it is going directly to the IP address, so it should be good. But anyway, this is the preview of what your site looks like. And right now it looks like we don't have anything there. However, we do. We see our title is here. The reason we're not seeing anything is because all we have are empty tags. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that if you don't have anything in here, it's not going to show you anything. If all you have are tags, well, the browser is what reads the tags. The information that we want people to see are the stuff that's in between the tags. So what I like to do when I set up my tags is I just type in the word of each one. So like header, nav, main, just so that I can see something and I can see that whatever I'm doing, there's a change happening. Article, let's put section, and last footer. All right, I'm going to save that. And now with that saved, and we go back over, now we'll see that, oh, okay, we do have stuff in there. We'll also see that I spelled section wrong, added an extra B. All right, so I fixed that. All right, so this pretty much is our structure. So what I like to do with this, though, truthfully, is save it as a template. This way, every time I go in, this part is already set up for me. But typically, before I save it as a template, most of the time I'll have my nav area filled in, and I'll have like a link. So like let's say I know this is going to be a link, so I'll set it up, right? So I'm setting up the nav link, and then I'm going to put the href. But since I don't have anything in here, I'm going to use it's called a empty attribute, I think, or empty link, and you get an empty link by just putting the hashtag. And then so if I save that and I preview that, you'll see that the nav now has a link, but it goes nowhere. It's like it goes to itself. That's what the hashtag takes it to, is itself. And all I did was the same href attribute that we've been using, and I just put the hashtag in there. It's a placeholder. That's what it is. So I have this placeholder nav, and if I wanted to set up all of them, I can. But for now, I can just leave this empty placeholder right here, and that should be plenty until I figure out what I want to do with all of my pages. All right, and typically before I start, we'll get into sitemap and all of that next. I think is the next class. Let me see. Let me look. We'll get into that. Yeah, I think it's next class. I don't see it on my list for whatever reason, but if it's not, we'll talk about it a little bit next class. All right. I only briefly glanced at it. I'm sure it's on there. I just don't feel like looking. All right. So I have all of our pretty much our tags. Our template is set. I might go and do a file save as, and then I might call this one temp.html or template.html. There is a way to actually make templates in HTML, in Dreamweaver, but we're not going to go into that because that's kind of a level 2 web thing, and things can get complicated. So if you're wondering, that's why we're not going to do that. So I'm going to close that template file just so that I have it. So that's not the template that you would do in Dreamweaver, but that's kind of like a template file that you can save, and then you don't have to go through this each time. It's already there for you, and then you just set up. So now what we want to do is start setting up our document. Let me put that. Make sure I have W3 Schools up. Okay, and so I told you the first thing we're going to do is our list. So maybe I want the list in the main area, and I actually have, if I didn't, I'm going to open this tag a little bit. And yes, okay, sweet. So I thought I already, so that you don't have to sit through me typing a list, I'm going to go ahead and paste a list that I have in here. Let me tab all these over real quick. Okay, so I try to make sure I include everybody because I know that we have some people in the class who don't eat meat and stuff like that, and then we have some who are meat eaters, and we have some who like what is it? I can't remember all the terms, but who don't eat like red meat or things like that, but eat like chicken and fish and stuff like that. So I try to include everybody. Hopefully you're in here, black bean burgers, veggie dogs, and stuff like that. So that everybody can have fun at the party, right? The cookout, right? This is our cookout. All right, so now I'm gonna save this, and I want you to see what this is gonna look like, or what this looks like. And here we go. All right, so that looks nothing like we put it in, right? Look at this. Hamburgers, hot dogs, stuff like that. And that is because, which also further proves that the browser only reads one character space and one line space at a time. So no matter how you type it in the browser or in your editor, the browser only knows one character space, one line, space at a time. So it is not going to honor that. You have to mark it up, henceforth HTML markup, right? You have to mark it up so that it knows. So what we're going to do is start setting up our list. And we want to do an unordered list because why would we put this in order? It is hamburgers and veggie burgers and stuff like that. There's no order. Hamburgers aren't number 1 and hot dogs number 2 and stuff like that. So since we're not doing that type of list, we need to make sure we set up an unordered list. So I'm going to type UL for an unordered list. And at the end of the list is where I'll put the close UL. So I'm going to bring that. I like my stuff looking neat. So I'm going to bring that here. And I actually am going to tab all of these in one more. I know. Like I said, it's just me. You don't have to be as... I love clean code. I don't know if I told you guys, I enter like clean code contests all the time. And I love them. And I feel like I should have won by now, but I have not. So that's a problem. But I'm not bitter. I am. But anyway, so I have the unordered list. And what I need to do now is, so I have the unordered list. So all this is sitting inside of the unordered list element. But if we preview this now, we're going to see that it's going to pretty much look the same, except for now this part has been indented because we have the unordered list, but we have to have list items, and there's a code for that, which is LI. So hamburger needs an LI, open and close. So they all need these open and close LIs. I'm going to copy this just so that I don't have to do it again. I'm going to bring this over. So now I have list item 1 as hamburgers. I'm going to paste it because I copied it. And I'm going to do and you pretty much just do the same. So you guys can do the same with the rest of them so that you have your list items. And I'll do it as well. When we're in a classroom, I usually like race you. And I'm usually like, oh, I'm going to win. And no matter what, even if you beat me, I won. So, just so you know, that's just how it goes. So if you're racing me right now and you think you're going to beat me, you're not. It just doesn't matter. Nope, you didn't win. I won. All right. I'm just kidding. Maybe you won, kind of. I'm just not going to tell you. Why would I do that? It's so crazy. All right, almost done. And the more you do this, the faster you'll see like your workflow increase. Some of you guys who are into typing, who are smart enough to really get into it, are like killing it right now. So I know. I remember when I was in school, typing I found was boring, so I didn't want to do it. And and who would be the person to get into web design who didn't take typing? Me. So I've gotten faster now though, but you know. Here come my teacher moment. You should listen to your parents when they tell you to take these classes. All right, so I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to refresh over here, and now we'll see what looks like a list, okay? So that's our unordered list. But just to show you, even though we don't need an ordered list, how easy it is, if I were to change this U to an O in the open and the close and save it, you will see that it just puts it in order so that you can see the numbers. But we don't want that. But I just wanted you to see the difference. All right, let's see. That is your unordered list. I'm trying to see if I want to. I'm trying to make the videos shorter, so that you're not looking for an hour. Let me see. Oops. I think I messed up my order when I was looking at sitemaps. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah. So in the next set of videos, we'll go through the tables because I think that one's going to take some time. But yeah, we'll go to tables in the next video. So we're in this video here, and we'll go through tables in a few. So I'll see you in a few.